Right, so the weather maps have just turned orange. And if you have been watching the UK weather this week, the grey skies, the drizzle, the classic British May that feels more like February, then what I'm about to tell you is going to feel almost unbelievable. Because WX Charts is showing temperatures of 25 degrees Celsius arriving in the United Kingdom on May 19th and 20th, 25 degrees. In the south and southeast of England, with 20 degrees or above stretching as far north as Yorkshire and Cheshire. And the temperature anomaly maps, the charts that show not just what temperatures are forecast, but how far above or below normal they are covered in deep orange and red across southern England, eastern England, and parts of South Wales. This is what forecasters are calling a mini heat wave. And if you live in any of the 34 counties that are forecast to hit 20 degrees or above on those 2 days, you're going to want to know exactly what is coming, when it is coming, and what the uncertainty actually looks like. Welcome to the channel. Let's get into it. First, the headline numbers, because that is what everyone wants. Fresh weather charts from WX Charts indicate the whole country will warm up on May 19th and 20th, from Scotland right down to Cornwall, with temperatures reaching peaks of 25 degrees Celsius, especially across the south and southeast of England. The whole country warming up is the key phrase here. This is not a localized warmth event where the southeast bakes and everyone north of Birmingham is still in a fleece. The charts are showing a broad warming pattern that covers England and Wales comprehensively, with the temperature gradient running from warm in the north to genuinely hot by UK standards in the south. The north of England will see pleasant conditions, with the mercury climbing to 20 degrees Celsius, with Newcastle and York forecast at 15 degrees, Manchester, Liverpool and Blackpool at 18 degrees, and other northern and northwestern regions experiencing temperatures between 13 and 18 degrees. 18 degrees in Manchester is a genuinely lovely May day, the kind of afternoon where people sit outside cafes, parks fill up, and the collective national mood improves measurably. And then the further south you go, the more dramatic it gets. The Midlands will benefit from considerably warmer weather, with Birmingham, Nottingham, and Leicester all predicted to see temperature peaks ranging from 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. The south and southeast of England will be the warmest regions. And London, sitting at the heart of the warmest zone, is being forecast to touch 25 degrees on May 20th. 25 degrees in London in May is a proper warm day. Not just a pleasant day, but a day where people are in shorts and t-shirts, where the parks and the Thameside spots fill up, where the ice cream vendors do genuinely good business. Outlook India plus 2. Now let us look at the 34 county picture, because this is one of the most striking aspects of the forecast. In total, the maps show 34 counties across the United Kingdom could see temperatures of 20 degrees or above on May 19th and 20th. Sadly for those in Scotland and Northern Ireland, they are all in either England or Wales. 34 English and Welsh counties reaching 20 degrees or above simultaneously on the same 2-day window. That is a significant chunk of the country experiencing the kind of warmth that UK residents specifically wait for all winter and all spring. The geographic spread of the 20 degree or above zone is what makes this more than just a southeastern event. On May 20th, the maps show temperatures reaching as high as 25 degrees in and around London. The south coast could see 24-degree highs, while 20-degree heat could stretch as far north as Yorkshire and Cheshire. Some parts of South Wales might see 21 degrees too. Yorkshire hitting 20 degrees in May is the kind of forecast that gets people in Leeds and Sheffield genuinely excited, because the Pennine weather system means that even in warm national patterns, Yorkshire can find itself a few degrees cooler than the national picture suggests. 20 degrees for Yorkshire on May 20th would be a genuine treat. South Wales at 21 degrees, the kind of warmth that makes the Gower Peninsula and the Brecon Beacons look their absolute best, is equally welcome after what has been a damp and grey spring across Wales. 101 great goals, com101greatgoals.com. The temperature anomaly maps are the most visually striking part of this forecast, and they tell the story more precisely than headline temperatures alone. Temperature anomaly maps for this period show areas of deep orange and red in southern, eastern, and central England, as well as parts of South Wales. This indicates where temperatures are expected to rise well above the seasonal average. Well above seasonal average. The average May temperature in London is approximately 18 degrees Celsius for a warm day. 25 degrees is 7 degrees above that average. In the language of meteorology, 7 degrees above average in May is a significant positive anomaly. Not a record-breaking extreme, but genuinely unusual warmth that deserves the orange and red coloring on the anomaly maps. The orange and red on these WX Charts anomaly maps are not just visual drama. They represent the magnitude of the departure from what May normally looks like across these regions, and they are telling you that the atmosphere over the UK in the third week of May 2026 is going to be operating in a notably warm pattern. 101greatgoals.com. Now here is where the honest weather coverage comes in, the part where I tell you what the uncertainty actually looks like, because the channel has always been straight with you about what forecasts are and are not. WX charts. Temperature model guidance at 12 to 14 days range is genuinely useful for identifying the direction of travel. It is telling you that a warm pattern is building and that mid to late May is going to feel different from early May. But the precise temperature peak, the exact timing of the warmest day, and the geographic detail of where 25 degrees actually materializes versus where it stays at 22 or 23, those specifics sharpen significantly in the final 5 to 7 days before the event. The Met Office says temperatures are likely to be close to or perhaps a little below normal during the middle of May, but should improve towards the end of the month. The Met Office language is careful and appropriately so for a forecast at this range, close to or perhaps a little below normal for the middle of May, improving toward the end. That is the institutional meteorological caution that the UK's National Weather Service applies when commercial model guidance is showing a warm signal, but the uncertainty range is still wide enough that committing to specific numbers would be premature. What the Met Office is not saying is that the warm signal is wrong. They are saying they want to see the event get closer before they commit to the headline numbers. That is good practice. And the WX charts model guidance is not wrong to show what it is showing. It is the best available signal at the current forecast range, and that signal is pointing clearly at warm conditions around May 19th and 20th. 101greatgoals.com. The broader context of where this warm spell fits in the overall May 2026 weather picture is worth understanding. The United Kingdom went through the bank holiday weekend at the start of May with a mix of conditions, some sun, some rain, classic British bank holiday weather that delivered precisely the ambiguity that bank holidays always seem to produce. UK hits 25C, but bank holiday weekend brings rain threat. That headline from early May tells you that the warmth was already trying to arrive, but the bank holiday rain threat kept the full benefit from materializing. Now, in the third week of the month, the models are suggesting that the warm air that flirted with the country in early May returns more decisively and more sustainably across a broader area. The pattern driving the warm spell is a high-pressure system building across the near continent, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and extending its influence northwestward into the UK. When high pressure builds in this configuration, it draws air from the south and southeast, from Spain and France, rather than from the northwest, where Atlantic systems bring cool, moist air. The air mass that arrives with a continental high over France in May is dry, warm, and stable. It does not produce the convective instability that afternoon thunderstorms require. It simply warms up under May sunshine without the usual cloud cover that Atlantic-influenced patterns bring. That is the atmospheric setup that produces the kind of warm, sunny, genuinely pleasant May days that the United Kingdom treasures precisely because they are not guaranteed. 101greatgoals.com. Now, what do you actually do with this forecast if you live in one of those 34 counties, if you're in London, in Surrey, in Kent, in Essex, in Hertfordshire, in Oxfordshire, in Berkshire, in Wiltshire, in Somerset, in Dorset, in Hampshire, in East or West Sussex, in South Wales, in the East Midlands counties, or in the more favourable parts of Yorkshire and Cheshire? Then, May 19th and 20th are the dates to plan around. Book the garden party for May 20th. Plan the outdoor event for May 19th. Tell your friends that this is the weekend for the barbecue you have been postponing since April, because if the WX charts guidance verifies, and the eyes confidence in a warm pattern, if not the precise peak temperature, is reasonably high, then these are going to be the best 2 days of the spring so far. For those of you in Scotland and Northern Ireland, the honest message is less exciting. The warm continental air mass that drives the English warmth typically struggles to penetrate north of the English-Scottish border with the same intensity, and Northern Ireland sits in a position where Atlantic influence tends to moderate the warm continental signal. You may see improvement from the grey conditions of recent weeks, but 25 degrees in Edinburgh or Belfast on May 20th is not what the models are showing. A more modest warming, some pleasant sunny intervals, but not the deep orange anomaly territory that the English southeast is being flagged for. And here is the final thought on this warm spell, the one that puts it in context beyond just the forecast numbers. The UK has been talking about spring not arriving properly for most of April and early May 2020. 6. The cold snap that followed the mid-April heatwave across the United States reached the UK in modified form. Cooler than normal. Gray, more spring rain than spring warmth. The garden is behind. The plans that were supposed to happen outdoors in April got pushed to May. And now the models are showing that mid to late May could be the redemption, the point where the season finally delivers the warmth and sunshine that spring is supposed to bring. May 19th and 20th, if the forecast verifies, are the days that make up for April. Check the forecast again in 5 to 7 days when the Met Office will have higher confidence and clearer detail on the temperature peaks and timing. But right now the maps are orange. The WX Charts guidance is showing 25 degrees in London, 34 counties are in the warm zone, and the mini heat wave is coming. Subscribe to the channel for continuing weather coverage as the forecast firms up. See you in the next one.